Yo, welcome to episode 80 of my Seraphic Blue playthrough. We are now trying to figure out the masterminds behind all of this and trying to sort all the puzzle pieces together. We pretty much now know that Hidi and Joshua are the two mysterious figures behind all this, but we still need to figure out about the third one. We also need to know more about Aisia, Hidi's daughter and whatnot. As part of the city, it was built. Okay, there's nothing new. Why am I even bothering with this? I also want to know what's Lancer's relationship to Aisia, or yeah, that's her name, Aisia. And just immediately switch to Minerva. Something the matter, Your Majesty? You look to be in a hurry. Please, I need to see Daisy right away. But Madame Daisy is extremely busy at the moment. I am afraid she might not have the time to see anyone, even you. My comrades and I have a gasp of who the two practitioners might be. I understand. Allow us to arrange for you a meeting with Madame Daisy at once. My apologies for the trouble caused upon you. You had to cancel your entire schedule for today just for this, right? It is fine. More importantly, is it true that you have an idea of who the two practitioners are? Well, it is just a reasonable deduction. All we need now is evidence. Hence, I would like to browse the information in the database, including top secret information. I understand. I will accompany you. Please wait a while. Please wait while Daisy and I search for the required information. Won't that be a lot of information, though? It will take pretty long, won't it? Do not worry. As I said before, we are not the only ones. We are not ones to leave our guests waiting for too long. We'll be back as soon as possible. In the meantime, please make yourselves at home in the parlor. That was really quick. You took less than 20 minutes. See, what did Daisy tell you? I didn't even get to finish my cup of tea. Perhaps it has something to do with our quick thinking. Well, let's hear your findings then. Certainly. First of all, allow me to talk about Aisia. 10 years ago, a Lucifer was dumped to the ground and merged with two Gaia cancers, Emeralda and Justine, to form a cancer devil. It then became known as Devil Aisia, the most ferocious being in history that brought about disaster on the ground. Having said that, we have confirmed upon our findings that Aisia was originally a Serahuman girl, and her name was Aisia Kirsch. Aisia fell victim to the Lucifer mutation symptom as a result of the tardive DSHIS at the age of 5. She was then dumped to the ground before turning into Aisia, after which she wreaked havoc on the ground for about half a year. Okay. And it just so happened that the day when she was taken down by a human was Aisia's 6th birthday. How do you know that? I just know. At any rate, there's only one truth that comes to mind in the place where the past and present intersect. And that's despair. Now, go on. Come on, Lancer, you need to fill in the details. Right. The only thing is regarding Joshua Kirsch. After comparing his personal records and stored in Darden's administrative bureau with profiles of all workers of government-related organizations, we have found a person who believes matches him. That person is Curtis Hamilton. Curtis? Oh, shit. Yes, indeed, I am Curtis Hamilton, the head of the CMGC's Weapons Development Division. What can I do for you? We would really like your help with regard to our pursuit of Morgan. I completely forgot about this dude. As Morgan is currently at the underground energy plant, it is possible if you can activate the elevator leading down there. Wow! I just thought of something. Certainly, I will be more than happy to offer my assistance to you. Thank you. We are grateful for your cooperation. That guy is Joshua? Curtis' DNA is exactly the same as Joshua's, hence there is no doubt that Curtis Hamilton was Joshua's Kirsch in disguise. There was also the fact that Curtis was declared missing rather than deceased after the incident at the CMGC headquarters. So Curtis, or rather Joshua, survived. He probably knew that the explosion that engulfed at the CMGC headquarters would certainly bring the curtain down on him. After all, a person who is declared missing as a result of that sort of incident can be considered as good as dead. Didn't he also create that robot that explodes shit, right? Although he would say that he would remain at the CMGC headquarters until every man had evacuated, it was actually an excuse for him to escape. Then he raided the White Wings laboratory together with Hidi, or rather Alona, who went missing with Ende. That was where Joshua and Alona stole Disastia's core and defeated Ende. I am thinking way too much, because if I remember correctly, he did design that robot, and kinda did die to that robot. What if kinda didn't die and he actually survived that shit? So the mystery is almost solved. Joshua and Alona are the parents of Aisia, a girl who became Disastia, and they are the true masterminds who stole Disastia's core and became the new practitioners after defeating Ende. That means Aisia is likely the motive behind their actions. Yes, you are right in thinking that way. The reality faced by the DLG Law Support Group is that parents bereaved of their children generally have deep wounded hearts, and several of those parents would even become weary with life and desire of the world's end, much like the Chaos Salvation Association. Joshua and Alona, however, are much more than that. They are not the type who would only boastfully preach their desires for the world's destruction and do nothing in the end like Abram. They are the type to put their plans into action in silence. In other words, they are the no-nonsense type who would stop at nothing to do anything, and are the hardest to talk things through with. By now, it could be considered that they no longer desire the world's end, but are ready to end the world by their own hands. And above all, Disastia was their daughter. Hence, the reason why they stole Disastia's core was so to possibly reunite with her, regardless of how hopeless it was. Now, all that is left to unravel the third practitioner. Who could it be? Say, Lansard, isn't it about time you tell us the whole truth? It's strange how you suddenly told us without any proof that Kana's parents are the masterminds. And it would turn out that all of our findings are just as you predicted. We somehow managed to put together the puzzle pieces to reveal the portraits of Joshua and Alona. It's as if everything, including the results, were predetermined from the start. How is that all possible? Who exactly are you? And do you know who the third practitioner is, don't you? Because Lancer was the one who defeated Disastia, but he also got the photo of Aisia. So he must have spent time before Aisia became Disastia. Right? Hey, Disastia's Hill. Eh? Let's head to Disastia's Hill. I'll tell you everything there. Perhaps those three will be there to listen to my story as well. After all, that place is where a twist of fate occurred, and where the past and present intersect. No, wait, no, those three, never mind. I must apologize for his abrupt behavior. It is fine. That aside, Vene, if you do not mind, I would like to take this time to ask you something personal. Is there another side of you? Why do you ask that? I am a little worried. I might but that was already a thing of the past anyway. Right, and Kana is also, a mastermind with explosives. What's wrong, Foxy? So I really think Kana is still alive. Can you hear me? Hey. I even... Oh. You seem troubled for some reason. I even think... This is my theory. Even though I don't want to speculate, because I think that kind of ruins the fun a little bit, if it is true. Well, at least for... I don't know. I believe Kana might be the third practitioner. You seem troubled for some reason. Well, there's just something I'm a bit worried about. Is it about Joshua and Alona, or is it about the unknown third practitioner? Well, even though we don't know who the third practitioner is, we're at least certain Joshua and Alona are the masterminds based on our findings. Yeah, I fully agree with that. So that's not what you're worried about. Then what is it? It's nothing serious, really. Curtis was basically Joshua's and Kana's father. That must mean he and Kana knew each other back then, but pretended not to. A military robot capable of taking a person captive upon sensing its defeat, such as the concept of this creation by Curtis. Yeah, he was the one that created the robot. If only I had noticed quicker, I could have easily avoided the situation. Looks like you fell into our trap, and it certainly never runs out of brilliant ideas. What? That trap wasn't brilliant. It was plain bullshit. For now, you should all get out of here, through the open doorway ahead. It may be likely that the door will close by itself once you leave here. Why didn't I think of that as being really suspicious, dude, earlier? How would he know it would close? Why would he even close in the first place? Why didn't I catch that earlier? Should I succeed in disarming the bomb, I will knock on the door to let you know that I am alive. Then we can figure out how to open the door before reuniting happily. Surely Joshua wouldn't bear to let his son die, would he? And why was that door open after the battle? I remember it closed initially, and since Morgan said it was a trap, it wouldn't make sense for the door to open. So does that mean it was not meant to be a trap after all? And supposing Joshua was in control of the doors, could it be that he purposely let all of us out so that he could save Kana? That has to be it. I have no concrete proof of it for it, though. It's a total wreck. Pieces of metal are scattered everywhere. It could only mean that his body had disintegrated into thin air, let alone surviving. Well, since Lancer might know something about this, I guess I'll let him do the talking first at Disastious Hill. It's unimaginable how it would all come down to this. Well, that may be so, but ultimately fate can be foreseen. Excuse me. Even gut feelings can tell what is bound to come, especially in my case. Aisia's parents. Their daughter's death caused them immense despair, so much that they went as far as to steal Disastia's core, which they regard as her corpse. Do you feel sympathy for them? I don't know. Even though I understand their feelings of despair, I feel their actions have been pretty foolish. That is the kind of behavior parents bereaved of their children would generally show, though. Even for me, my parental love for the children of Hadwick was so strong that I let my emotions get the better of me after their deaths. At any rate, people like Joshua and Alona are very difficult types of people to get through to. Doris? What's wrong? Why are you walking away? Oh, that's her mother. Okay, I didn't recognize her sprite. I believe she means mother. Mama is there. Man, this game has so much fucked up family issues, dude. Don't tell me. Doris. Mama. So you're Doris's biological mother. Who are you? I'm tentatively Doris's guardian. Guardian? What about her schooling? She's taking time off from that. Are you unhappy or something? Sorry, but you have no right to barge into Doris's life now. In fact, you ought to no longer have any affinity or connection with her. Well, except for your blood relationship with her. Though I would say it's more like water than blood. I'm not unhappy or anything like that. And I know I have no right to interfere with her life. It's just... Wait. Sorry, Doris, but can you excuse us for a while? I have something to talk to this lady in private. Is it a long talk? It'll be quick, so no worry. Okay, I'll go away and wait. You can now continue. Well, it's not like I intend to stop Doris from taking time off from school or doing anything that she wants. Rather, it's you I'm puzzled about. I just don't get how you can afford to take care of her. What did you say? In case you didn't know, it's a pain taking care of a mentally retarded child. Well then, I should say you're the one I'm puzzled about. I don't understand how you can't appreciate the lovely and adorable side of her and raise her regardless of any adversities faced. Who in the world would actually say that? Do you think parents would be willing to raise children just because of that? Well, it's true that parents will initially love how adorable their children are and be excited over raising them. Over time, though, that will only become all too familiar. Its novelty will wear off, and eventually the parents will no longer find their children adorable. Besides, the way Doris acts and talks is clearly weird compared to other children. If I were to bring her to town, people would naturally stare at us. They would gossip, give half smiles, and gaze at us with disdain. And they would only see us as scum. So you're saying you hate being looked down upon? How stupid. To think you would be so afraid of what people think of you. Judging from your appearance, you must be a warrior monk from the village of Tenring, located on the ground, right? I've learned in school that warrior monks like you uphold spiritual integrity and the like, and train hard in Kung Fu daily. No wonder your words are so full of nonsense. I'm different from you. I'm just a bourgeois living in a rotten world. Housewives in this neighborhood tend to show off and compare with one another. They buy the best branded clothes, have rich husbands, and have highly successful children unlike any other. That's how shameful most housewives are. Is that why you sent Doris to the academy? That's right. I choose to be a woman rather than a mother. What an idiot. To think you would give birth to Doris only to give up your role as her mother. No, you don't get it. I did that only because Doris is mentally retarded. Had that not been the case, I would be more of happy to be her mother always. So you choose to give up on her just because of her disability. That's just an excuse a child would make. Say what you will, but the reality is we live in a world full of snobs. A successful child will bring great joy, whereas a failed child will only bring misfortune and trouble. If anything, a child is like a gamble. It's only a matter of whatever the large expenses incurred for raising a child until adulthood would be worthwhile investment, or whether they would turn out to be losses. And would the child be born an angel, or would it be born a parasite? For me, my child is the latter. That's why I got rid of her. Do you have any complaints to that? Wow, that's enough. I shouldn't waste my time listening to you. Well, this is a surprise. I thought you would be extremely pissed off with me. Anger is no longer the right word to describe how I feel. Rather, I pity you. Wow, this mother, dude. Like, every other fucked up family is, like, trying their best. Even in some weird, sick way, like George. And, yeah, Doris's mother, dude. Damn. Never mind. Whatever you want on your own. Do whatever you want on your own. In exchange, though, promise me just one thing. Never ever give birth to another child. Children are, after all, a nuisance to you. That goes without saying. I have already had enough of children. What do you plan to do now? Well, I'm done shopping for the day. I was just taking a break and was about to return home when I saw Doris. I was so looking forward to wearing my newly bought clothes, now that all that excitement is gone thanks to her. Must have been fun for you to shop all around the capital, isn't it? But for a Borgias to be having so much fun, won't you eventually run out of money to spend? Well, I have a wealthy manager who I can rely on. He got bored of his wife and is currently having an extramental affair with me. And just so you know, I already spent away all the money that I got from the academy long ago. I see. Get out of my sight. I'll do that even without you telling me. Wait. What now? Can you answer me just this question? Do you have any regrets? Huh? What a lame attempt at a joke. Naturally, I couldn't bear to tell Doris what her mother said to me. If I did that, Doris would surely be filled to the brim with anger against her mother. That wouldn't do any good for her. So instead, I quietly hid the truth from her. By that, I mean the truth that Doris's mother leads a pathetic life. She might be a self-confessed, an arrogant Borgias, but really she is just a commoner, resigned to the norms of this world. Her spirits have been tarnished. She has given up on her touch with her spirit, and she has chosen to be bound by the chains of society without resistance. Where will she go there? What will she gain? No matter how flashy or flamboyant she portrays herself as to others, it won't improve her inner beauty. There will certainly come a time in one's life where one's outer beauty fades away. That's where inner beauty comes into question. Just what does she make of her own body? I won't deny what she said about reality of this world, though. It's no doubt the cruel but unavoidable reality that everyone, including Doris, lives in. That's why I wish to make a difference by openly holding Doris close to me. And without being bound by anything, I will gladly become her close mate. It is impressive how she managed to remain calm. No doubt. I could tell her from her tone that she was angry deep down. She could have yelled at that lady if she wanted to, but instead she was unfazed throughout much of the whole conversation, which is unlike her. It is as if she had given up on her and did not bother to say anything more. Well, perhaps she's not good at making someone like her understand with words. Besides, do you think words alone will be enough to achieve that? You have a point there. That woman appears to be already in her 30s and still behaves like a child, and wears lavish clothes like a spoiled teen would. She's basically making herself look stupid without anyone forcing it upon her. And it's no use trying to stop that shameful woman. She has, after all, made up her mind to be a clown rather than a mother. Sooner or later, she'll know what despair is. And the chances are, she'll realize that it's too late to bring things back to how they originally were. Regardless, I doubt she'll shed a single tear for Doris. She'll forever be pitiful and in despair. And people will judge her as someone who has wasted her life. That would explain why Aisia was calm and collected. She knows that woman is already beyond hope, and it is pointless wasting her breath on her. Nevertheless, while her behavior has been contemptuous and dismissive, I wonder why a woman would behave that way. Unfortunately, I have no experience with women. Ever since you had a wife and child, how about answering that doubt of mine for me? My, is that a rather harsh question to ask me? Don't you know about how my wife and daughter ran away from me? I lost them because I neglected them. Well, a rule of thumb of mine in the past was always to cherish my loved ones, but I failed to live up to that. I simply lacked the resolve to support my family, and also lacked the responsibilities of doing that. Well, the fact is, you didn't put yourself in the same shoes as your wife and daughter. Had you done that, you probably would have known just how much suffering they had been through. Then it would be a matter whether or not you could appreciate them and vice versa. I firmly believed that Meryl has raised her well. No matter where Mary may be, Meryl's love for her is certain to last forever. After all, even though I only cared about hunting monsters while reeking of blood, I could tell just how sincere Meryl was about raising Mary. A mother's love, huh? They say that mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of little children. But why is Doris' mother an exception? Amongst all diversities of the world, this is probably the diversity I'm most complexed by. On one hand, there is a mother who has given up her motherhood for self-interest by abandoning her mentally disabled daughter. On the other hand, there is a mother who is so grieved over her daughter's death that she now holds her body close and plans to end the world. Being a mother is a feat in itself, isn't it? Yeah, it's the hardest job in the world. There's no other job like it. By the way, yes? You said you could tell how sincere Meryl was about raising Mary, right? Yes, I did. In that case, why didn't you follow her instead of spending almost your entire time on your job and falling out of love in the process? Well, this may sound silly, but I was not the indoor type of person like Meryl was. I was the type to strive for adventure. So you're saying you were like a kid back then? You could certainly say that. After all, I am sure you know that men tend to mature slower than women, right? So Meryl was already a grown-up while you were still behaving like a kid. Then tell me, how would you picture Mary to be now? Well, I suppose she would very much like her mother. Is that what you are asking me? No, not that. I'm asking for your own perception of her. You're after all her father, right? Indeed I am. Your question is rather sudden, so I'm not sure what you meant at first, but I believe she has grown to be a fine young lady. Or rather, than looking like her mother, she has the look of conviction inherited from her mother. Well, one important lesson I have learned is that never to neglect the outside world, lest we be like children and be stuck in the past. Yeah, it's about time I should move on from the past as well. So, Mama talked a lot about me. Mama said bad things about me, right? Mama said before that I am a nuisance. No, not at all. You don't have to lie to me. That look on Mama's face is exactly the same as before. Doris, even so, you still regard her as your mother. We're now fighting against the Gaia cancers. They're the cancers of this planet, and if we don't get rid of them, they will eat into Gaia until none of it is left. That woman is, in a way, similar to them. If you don't break off its ties with her, she'll only eat away at you. The one thing that I wish from you is to become... the one thing that I wish from you is to become your mother. That's why. Your mother apparently came by the capital some time ago. She was dressed in the latest top-branded fashion clothing. Doris, you are too kind of a person. By pampering others in sacrifice of your own happiness, you are only ruining yourself. Hence, regardless of how talented you are with your magic power, I cannot leave you alone. Do you have a place you wish to return to, Doris? Is there a place you wish to call your new home in replacement of your lost home? Okay, I understand. That woman is not Mama. Big sister. Doris. Let's do our best together, okay? Yes, we'll do our best. Alright. Now, we're off to Disastrous Hill. Wait a minute. Wasn't there somebody that wanted to meet with Nixon? Who was it again? Oh, right, Chaos. Let's go ahead and take that detour, see what's up with that. I'm actually got a jump cut, so I'll see you guys at Chaos. Alright, we're back. We're gonna see if there's anything interesting. This is a divine directive energy weapon that I call Heaven and Hadwick. Hadwick. This weapon dates back to several years ago. The government army sent a few representatives to visit me. They came knocking on my door while dressed and disguised as anti-government guerrillas, even though it was not Halloween. It would seem that the purpose of their visit was to seek my help in developing a direct energy weapon. It was either trick or treat. Since I had nothing better to do anyway, I decided to give them the candies that they desire. And so, after several discussions and upgrades, the final prototype of this weapon was born. Ultimately, though, the government army decided to abandon this weapon for some reason. That is why I still have it with me. It was not too difficult getting this weapon ready for use again after having kept it away for so long. All it took was to clear the dust and grease it before fine-tuning it, and making sure it works perfectly. And I managed to do all that within a short period of time since the incident at Hadwick. But why? I wonder myself. Perhaps it is the trend of chaos that those who hunger deserve edible pies and not pies in the sky. For someone who uses guns to strive against the corrupt future, you'll need this pie more than anything else. So please take it. Tell me, Haven and Hadwick, is there a meaning to it? Do you really want me, who you hold a sin against, to tell you? Are you perhaps planning to take revenge? No, not at all. I just want to know how you feel. I just feel like naming it that way. Or rather, perhaps it is to say that angels still watch over Hadwick today. Regardless, though, life goes on with no way to turn back the clock. And I will eventually descend into hell. Alright. A new weapon. Wait, is it a skill, actually? What? Yep, it's a skill. It's an AoE light. Top secret weapon. Interesting. Alright, that's actually really good. I actually like using Nixon now. He's actually really strong. I kind of underrated him. Alright, I'm gonna jump cut over to the Disastia's Hill, so I'll see you guys there. Alright, we're making our way to Disastia's Hill now. I think I'm gonna save and end the episode after this final segment of what's to come. Let me first tell you about my past. Then I'll tell you how my ignorance had its merits and its demerits, and how it led to both fortunes and misfortunes. There was a clear reason why I became a bounty hunter. It was in the name of justice. Justice? Is that how associated with? How is that associated with bounty hunter? My mother died when I was young, and my father worked as a hitman without my knowledge, even though he did not look like one. He was highly skilled and a well-known assassin in the underworld, or so the rumors went. And on top of it, he would never fail to eliminate his targets. It's wrong to kill people. That was what my father usually said to me. Well, even now, I still can't grasp what he meant by that. At any rate, his job was clearly blasphemous. He told me those words, if only out of fear that I would walk down the same path as him. Then, at the age of 16, as I was living my impressionable days without having any knowledge of my father's dark secrets, it just so happened that I began to have suspicions about him. Up until then, my father never actually told me what he worked as I didn't have the courage to ask him in person. I secretly followed him as he headed for work one day. My father pretended not to notice me. He probably didn't mind showing me the truth about him. Just like that, he went about his job as usual, in front of my eyes. From the next morning onward, I never spoke a word to my father, and a month later, I moved out of the house, never to return again. Even though he had always told me that it's wrong to kill people, he ironically did just that for a living. I hated him a lot for that, blacklisted him, and decided to object to his ideals by walking down the path of justice. That was when I became a devil sweeper. I chose a profession which involved hunting down the evil devils that threatened the lives of people. Since my father went down the evil path of killing people, I thought I would go down the righteous path of killing devils. I swing my sword like a madcap, day after day, pushed on without fail. For every devil I killed, I made a huge step forward in the path of justice. Then 10 years ago, that devil showed up. It was Devil Disastia, a great evil that plunged the ground into unprecedented crisis. And so, in order to reach the pinnacle of my achievement in the path of justice, I challenged Disastia at this very place. This was where I realized that I've been walking down the wrong path all along. What happened during your decisive battle with Disastia? I found out the truth about devils, which I didn't know about until after I killed Disastia. That devil was originally a human child. It turned out that I was all the while blindly following my father's footsteps, even though my father's intention was to walk down the path of justice. In other words, I wasn't serving justice, but merely satisfying my own desire for it to no avail. How ridiculous, really. So I abandoned that wrong path of mine, after which I lost sight of where I should go in life. Just like that, I went on a vagabond journey with no destination in mind. But how? There's no way a human like you, except George, would know the truth about devils 10 years ago. Well, the thing is, no one actually told me that directly. I pretty much had a hunch about it after meeting a certain someone. Certain someone? It's Kane. Really? Kane? You mean Kane Kirsch? Yeah, he was still a kid back then. He appeared before me like an angel, and revealed the truth to me without saying a word. Did I win? I just took down Aisia. I did it. I freaking did it. At last, I reached the pinnacle of my achievements. I killed Devil Aisia. Who's there? Such a cool CG. ... A kid. What's a kid doing in this place? Hey kid, what are you doing there? Hey, are you listening to me? Why are you in this place? It's not safe here. Sheesh. Why are you ignoring me? Okay, I get it. I'm coming for you now. Wait there. Hey, I said wait. Where are you going? Good grief. What's with that kid? I don't like how he just poured cold water on me as I was savoring my victory. What's this? A locket and a handkerchief. Did that kid drop these? There's a photo in the locket. Happy birthday, Aisia. A girl. Happy birthday, Aisia. So this is her birthday present. Then, this handkerchief is... Dear Aisia, happy 6th birthday. Regardless of how you look, you will always be our daughter. Those wings sprouting out of your back are not black wings. They are lovely white wings of an angel. Black wings? Don't tell me. Ah, I see. Wow, that's... Just how many times did I slash her? Just how many times did I stab her? Yeah, that's right. I killed this girl. Okay. That answers a lot now. It was Aisia's 6th birthday. That was the day when everything about me fell apart upon seeing the photo of her smiling face and grasping the reality before me. I used my sword to mark a sort of grave for her in the place of a cross. Then I offered a prayer in front of her blood-stained corpse before disappearing from the scene. After walking some distance, I could feel the ground rumble and hear loud cheers behind me. I looked back for a while and saw people trampling on Aisia's corpse while being overflowed with joy. Aisia was a rampant being that hadn't to be stopped at all cost. That was obviously intentionally, but after finding out the truth, I became lost. Or, obviously, initially. Whose fault is it? Who should be the blame? If I were to simply blame God for all of this, wouldn't that be the same as having lost faith in everything? Nothing of significance occurred after the battle with Aisia. Spent the next 10 years being nothing but a rootless wanderer. Since that day until now, the world around me was painted in despair. Would anything take root in a world like that? What would I gain there? I had no clue whatsoever. And so, with seemingly nothing to seek and hope for, I simply followed where the wind took me. However, there's just one thing that I would have been hoping for until today. One day, my heart will crumble and my body will rot away. When that day comes, so be it. But that's not before I return this locket to them. That was the only existing hope I had in my world of despair. Thanks to that, I was able to live on until today. So, you are here to... Yeah. It seems the time has finally come for me to fulfill that hope of mine. After all, I have a good feeling that they are currently here with us, listening to my story. Then, without further ado, I shall return this memento to you guys, after having been frozen in time for the past 10 years. Take it, Joshua, Alona, and Kane.